Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, Yarn Armor. I'm going to get comfortable here so we're going to talk a little bit. So, today is episode 4. I know it's been a while, but truthfully, I have been saying to myself, I'm going to get my stuff together before we go out and get this next video done. And I sat down and I got editing software, but truthfully, it's frustrating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to record videos, but I'm going to continue to learn. But I had stuff I got to talk to you about and if I don't talk to you now, I feel like it pretty soon it's just going to be like, why am I talking to you guys about it? Because it's too long. So on the weekend of April 14th, I went to Chicago for the Stitch Up Chicago. Stitch Up Chicago is, I'm going to work off the agenda here. I'm going to explain what it is. So it started in 2017 when Michelle Costa, the founder of the blog Stitch and Hustle, she's amazing. I actually met her. She is amazing. She wanted to get all her online friends together. It grew from there, and it became this event type thing. And I'm gonna read what they say the events are, what the event does, right? Actually. So Stitch Up Events creates a safe space to come together, building a fiber community one stitch at a time. The purpose of each Stitch Up experience is to allow crafters to connect, foster an inclusive community, and celebrate our love for fiber arts. All techniques are embraced, all are welcomed. So it was her along with Tamara from Moogly. She's the OG. She's like one of the people I've been following the longest. So it was an honor to meet her. Then we had, actually her last name is Kelly. Tamara Kelly of Moogly blog. London K. London K you might know as the Yarn Bomber Extraordinaire. And she is absolutely amazing. She's just a great person. She's just sweet and she's beautiful. I love her. She was amazing. Natalie Thomas of Detroit Knots. Yeah, that was my favorite. I love her. She is amazing. She actually is amazing. She's so sweet. She's so nice. Yeah. Lauren McElroy of Mother of Pearl. They're adorable. Absolutely adorable. She's adorable. So, but she's a knitter, so I really didn't know about them. So, but they're absolutely adorable. She's cute as can be. And Michelle Costa of her actual company is 144 Stitches. Stitch and Hustle is her blog. I think that's how it works. But look up both 144 Stitches and Stitch and Hustle. You can find them both on Instagram. And I'll try and put all links and stuff in here. I want to get this out rather quickly. So there were a lot of sponsors. The sponsors were amazing. In fact, a lot of the sponsors I knew about already and actually, work with, We Crochet, Knit Picks, Mary Maxim to a certain degree. But there were some that were new to me, like Universal Yarn, which a lot of people I guess know about. I didn't know about them. A lot of there was a yarn tasting with indie yarn dyers, and we'll talk about them. And Nina Chicago. Nina Chicago was amazing, and I'm gonna stop there because that's where we actually began our evening on Friday. There was a tea at Nina's, and they closed down the shop just for Stitch Up participants who opted in. There were different levels that you can opt in to do. I did the all-in, which meant I did everything. Nina Chicago, the special shopping event, if you lived in Chicago, you didn't have to do Friday. You could do like Saturday or just come to the yarn bar. So it was just whatever you wanted to do. I did all in, including a special day on Sunday, which we'll talk about later. I want to follow the little thingy because if we don't follow the thingy, then I'm going to be all off. I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's just going to be crazy. So we're going to follow the agenda. So Friday we were at Nina's in Chicago. Let me get this real quick. We were in Nina, Chicago. and we got a discount, and we had to run the show. We could shop for anything we wanted to there. I was actually looking for now. The one thing about Nina Chicago is that it's not just a yarn shop. There was fabric there. There was embroidery. There were cross. It was just amazing. And then they had this wall that was amazing. It was like threaded with this thread art. You know how they used to have the ships with the thread. It was like that, but except they had a relief and it said make. And of course, I didn't get pictures. I didn't get a lot of pictures. I was phoned down for most of the weekend. I talked to my husband a couple of times. I did take pictures on the last day, and maybe we'll show a few of those, but those are kind of personal. So anyway, so I actually was pretty good there. I did not buy a lot. I was looking for DK yarn, and I actually could not find any that I really liked, but I did buy yarn. I bought some Malabrigo. The price on this stuff is amazing. So this is actually worsted. I was not looking for worsted, but I will justify this by saying, because I'm trying to actually not buy a lot more worsted because I live in the mid-south of the United States of America. It gets really warm there. But I do have a couple of summer patterns that call for worsted weight yarn. And this stuff is beautiful. This is Malabrigo, which, you know, they give you this little bitty card right there. So is that going to show up? Yeah, that's Malabrigo. And this is Pearl. Is she going to show up? Yep, that's Pearl. And she's, as you can see, 100% superwash merino, approximately 210 yards. This is $18 a skein. The color is amazing. Is that going to... They're gonna let you see it? I don't think it's gonna let you see it. Oh, there we go. Oh, this camera doesn't know justice. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty. It still doesn't do it justice. So I bought this, and then I bought this in another color. So this is called Cyan. Maybe today. Here we go. That's Cyan. And she pretty. Oh, yeah. I understand why people love Malabrigo. The color on this is just fantastic. The camera's not, like I said, the camera's not doing it justice at all. At all. It's beautiful. And I got a cup. Here we go. Isn't she cute? She's a cute cup. Yes. So that's actually, outside of what they gave me, that's all the yarn I actually bought for the entire weekend. I didn't buy any other yarn. So I think I did really good. Like I said, the price on that was fantastic. And Nina's in Chicago had a whole wall of this stuff. I was just being good. So after the, okay, so first of all, swag. So the slogan for the Stitch Up Chicago was Situation Handled. And I actually ended up buying all 3 of the pieces. So we had the regular t-shirt, and then they had a razorback. So I did buy swag, but the swag I bought was for a purpose. There we go. And then I bought the hoodie. So I bought the trifecta. And the reason I did that is because we were running late to the airport. We really did not know if I was going to be able to make the plane or not. And I said, come HE hockey sticks or high water, I was going to get on that plane. So we grabbed some things out of my suitcase. We stuffed them in my backpack because I had the Delaque backpack. She worked like a dream. And I got on that plane. Did some shopping once I did get there because I had to, we got so much stuff, I had to actually get a bag to do the check-in that I actually already paid for, but I didn't have a bag for. It's funny. So, but, I want to mention the fact that a small company made these. So if you're actually looking for, they do like t-shirts and things of that nature, but they also do tumblers. And so the name of the two ladies, their companies on Instagram are May's Made and Earls Girls. I'll actually put the link in the description. Some people call them show notes. I've heard that recently, which I think is actually super cute. I got show notes, but really it's in the description. I'll put it in the description below, and so that you can see it. Okay, so after Nina's Chicago, and that's where we actually met all the hosts. And I have to tell you the truth, it was just it was actually kind of weird being in the same room with people that you like are like you follow, and you're like, oh, they're amazing, I love them. It's kind of weird to be in that situation. And I have to tell you the truth, I totally fangirled. I'm just gonna be honest. They probably think I'm like kind of stalkerish because I was like, "Can I be your friend?" I mean, seriously, I was like, "I want to be your friend." I'm thinking back. I'm thinking, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" So I'm just gonna be honest about that. So I apologize for anybody that witnessed that or was, the recipient of that. I'm not stalkerish at all, but it kind of, yeah. Anyway, okay. So after Nina Chicago, they shuttled us back to the event space. Meal was provided. And that was like the cast-on party for the actual stitch-up event in the facility. And where they had it was like in the hotel. So we actually never left the hotel after the Nina Chicago event. So, which made it nice because, I really didn't want to be driving around Chicago in the middle of the night trying to find places. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing we did was had a cast on. Everything was provided for you 100%. You did not have to buy yarn. You did not have to bring yarn. You did not have to bring hooks. You did not have to bring knitting needles. Everything was provided for you at the event. It was included in your cost. So bang for the buck right off the bat. They won my heart. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I love Stitch Up. I will be going to Stitch Up from now on. They're going to be in the kind of whole situation where you go to retreats. They're always going to be it because they are amazing. They have a community there. The community is awesome. I love it. So anyway, the first night it was like a cast on party, and everybody actually made the same pattern. Everybody was making the same thing, but different patterns. So the cast on, everybody was making hats. So you can choose to make either a simple beanie, knit, a crochet hat, or an advanced knit hat that had like holes and stuff in it. It was beautiful. But I don't knit. But I was taking the opportunity to learn to knit. So I actually did pick up the needles and try. And I have to tell you the truth, my attempt is really bad. It's horrible. But I'm going to keep on trying. The yarn that we used was a Vario from Universal Yarn. It's actually really pretty yarn. I've never used them before, so they were a new to me yarn. So it was good to see. I got to figure out where that's going to go, where it'll show the yarn and stuff that I want to, or I got to figure out where to put it. But the yarn is actually really pretty. I went on their site to kind of see, because, oh, there we go. Maybe that's it. I went on the site to see some of the other offerings that they have. Truthfully, I may or may not order from them again. I don't know. We got coupons for all the vendors. So, it's fine yarn, but it's just, I don't know. I have to see. But I am going to finish my hat, my simple beanie hat. Now, one of the things I will say is I do wish that we would have gotten all the patterns as PDFs afterwards, because truthfully, I've lost half my patterns. I don't know where they went. I had fun. I wasn't trying to track papers. That's why I have all my patterns as PDFs. So the pattern is actually really simple, but I think the problem is, and I met a wonderful young lady there, Dr. Charlie. And she has a beanie pattern where she used bulky weight yarn, which I'm going to use. I'm going to use her pattern to try and make a beanie, and then hopefully come back to this on these little teeny tiny knitted needles. Yeah, the teeny tiny knitted needles, which are Knitter's Pride. They're actually really beautiful needles. They're square, they're not round, which I thought, you know, to me that's new. When it comes to the whole, yeah, there they go. To me that's new, but they're beautiful. So I'm gonna learn on I'm gonna eventually get this where I'm gonna knit these eventually. All right, so that was the first night. They catered dinner, so we didn't even have to worry about food the whole time we were there, for the most part. So dinner was provided. So that was amazing. So day one, done. Day two, Saturday, started at about 10 a.m. So I did get up earlier that day. You know, I got dressed. They had a Starbucks around the corner in the Target. So I actually went and got coffee at Target's, came back and do what I usually do in the morning time, which is sit and knit or crochet. I'm saying knit, but I actually did try knit, but I was getting a little frustrated, so I didn't go too far with that. But yeah, that's fine. So I'm actually showing you things from the swag bag. The swag bag is amazing. In fact, let me show you what everything came in. So it all came in this bag here. And I'm here to tell you, this bag was full. It was full of stuff. It was full. Absolutely. So we're going over that stuff now. So that was actually one of the things that was in the bag. We also got these. I got two because somebody didn't want theirs, so they gave me theirs, and they're amazing. What they are they came from We Crochet. And it's their hook case. And I think the lady gave it to me because she saw hook case and she was like, I don't need no hook. But isn't that super cute? Right? And there's a little thing that you go back and forth. And London K, absolutely, she already had her hooks in hers all front to back. She's adorable. But it has these zipper side, and this is actually cloth, not plastic. So when the lady was like, I don't want mine, I was just like, I'll take them. They also provided, so depending on what you chose, whether it was knit or crochet, you got a full set. Now I got the knitting needles because I wanted to learn. So I got one set of those. But for the other crafts, I chose crochet. And so for that, they give you a full set of hooks. These are the Knit Picks wooden hooks, or We Crochet, or whoever. They're actually really pretty. But I have to tell you, they are not my favorite to use because to me, the ends are a little too blunty. But I have a full set of them, and each of them are like kind of slightly different. So I'm keeping them like this because I know I'll run into somebody who will want them. But I'm not going to open up the rest of them and use them because I wouldn't use them. We also got a little blue envelope and all the cards to get discounts from all the vendors. So it was lovely. So Saturday morning, one of the first things, they have raffles throughout. So they were raffling stuff off. But when it came to the next project, it was presented by Tamara from Moogly, who she's actually sat by me, y'all, a couple of times. Truthfully, I'm kind of mad I didn't ask for autographs of people. But she actually designed a purse. Her and Michelle of Stitch and Hustle designed bags. One was a knit, one was a crochet. I chose the crochet one, of course. But what's interesting about it, it was a new stitch pattern, which the stitch pattern was just very interesting. I'm going to try it again on another pattern. I won't make the bag, though. I'm going to just be honest with you. But this is the yarn. This is the unhinged version. So it's called In Love, and it's by a company called Circulo, right? But what's even more interesting about this yarn is that it is 100% cotton. bulky cotton. And I'm going to prove it to you. Cotton, 100%. Now, they are new to me in the fact that I never put my hands on them before. But I had heard of them through Ravelry. Their patterns were popping up in my queues in Ravelry, and when I click it, they actually have the name of the yarns there. And in Ravelry, you can actually click to the actual retailer, and it always pops up as Amazon. You can get this in Amazon. The representative, and I'm telling you, this cotton is amazing. It feels so good. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to do something with this. I don't know what, but I'm going to do something with this. Not a bag, but something. I'm going to do something with this. This is not the only thing I got from them. So there was a lady there, she's a representative, but she's also a designer. And when you see Circulo come up in Ravelry or you see patterns for them, even on Amazon, she's probably the designer for them. A delightful lady. Friday night, she came in with these crochet pants on. The second day, she had this amazing dress. And then one of the reasons that she was there and another lady was wearing it is that she had this jacket that actually looks like a denim jacket. I'm just not even gonna lie. It looks like a denim jacket, but it's crochet. And I'm going to show you the yarn because I ended up getting some. I didn't buy this. This was actually given to me. One of the ladies there won this, but she already had so much stuff to take back home that she was like, please take this off my hands. But this in itself is cotton. It's cotton. If you're looking for cotton to do some really weird stuff with in bulky or crazy or colors that you just can't get anywhere else, Circulo, Amazon. Circulo. Now I'm going to put this back. But yeah. And the whole time we're there, people are asking you, did you get the color you liked? Are you sure you like that color? Yes. I actually kind of lucked out. I did change one color and you'll see that one later. So that was and at this point in time, we're actually, you can sit indoors or outdoors because they had an outside portion. It was all like one big area. We weren't actually all in the same room, which is kind of sad because I think it would have been nice if we were all in the same area the whole time, kind of chilling and relaxing. But there was an outside part that was just beautiful. So I sat out there most of the like morning-ish times until we got to the yarn, not the yarn bar, where's my agenda? So Saturday, brunch and stitches with Circulo. Oh, we had a yarn bombing class. So the yarn bombing class was put on by London K, and they did actually do a yarn bombing, right? Everybody participated in making little patches and things. Now this is where it gets kind of weird for me because I feel like I'm not that creative because there were people making just some like beautiful stuff to put on there, and I just like kind of making squares, which is needed, and you know a person needs to do those, but I can't necessarily always think out of the box like that. I like a pattern. So she actually provided a sheet with patterns, how to make a circle, how to make a square, how to make a triangle. So that's actually what I did. But it actually came out really cute. And it was actually installed across from Nina's Chicago. So if you're in Chicago and you're going by Nina's Chicago downtown, you will see the installation next door. So, and I keep pointing like I'm trying to show you something, but I still don't know how to insert a picture. But I can't wait to do that. So we're going to go ahead and do what we do. Okay. So after the yarn bomb session, we didn't actually install it, but at this point, this is where, you know, London is just like putting all this stuff on the thing. She's amazing. She works extremely fast. Anyway, this is where we got the yarn tasting. Yarn tasting was fantastic. I met a lot of new dyers. They let us, we went around so they had tables set up. I think it was like 7 tables, and everybody sat around a table, and each dyer had their table and they had their wares in there, and you could just pick up a sample and crochet with it, knit with it, sample it up. They actually had these little cards that you could write details about, like the colors that you liked, you know, the name of the dyers, the name of the things, and then you can mark what you like. So I did kind of notate a few of the yarns that I was especially drawn to, but I'm going to show you a little bit from each of the yarn because they all gave us a little bit of something in the goodie bags. And then I'm going to talk about another set that I'm actually working with. I've actually already started working with something that one of the dyers gave. But let's just start looking in the bag. So I'm going to start with Asylum Fibers, new to me. Did not know of them before. I ended up with like 3 true hanks of their yarn, of her yarn. This I picked. So this actually was what was in my swag bag right here. Actually, it wasn't. It was another color, but it was a little bit boring. So I actually went in. You can actually exchange your fiber for something else that was on the table because they had a table. I got this one based off an incident that happened at the stitch-up, but I'm not going to tell nobody about that. You had to have been there. If you want to see the shenanigans, all the shenanigans, you got to go. Now, there aren't a lot of pictures, but they did take pictures. And they were going to provide us with some of those pictures. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see pictures as soon as I get them where I'm tagged. I'll tag other people too, but I was tagged. Asylum Fibers yarn is amazing. I got everything in a little basket down here, so I'm just reaching down into my basket. The fibers are amazing, and for some reason, I have a lot of Asylum Fibers. Like at the table at the end of the yarn taste, and she was like, "Hey, you want this?" I was like, "Yes." Even though, you know, technically I'm not a sparkle girl, but I ended up with a little bit of sparkle. That's not the only sparkle I have. You'll see her lately, and this was actually just free in the bag. This is actually DK. Now, what was sad is that they weren't actually selling there. We were actually just tasting. That's a mini. So I actually ended up with quite a bit of their yarn. In fact, do I have one more of her yarn? Okay, no, I don't. Okay, no, I don't. Oh, while I'm here, they gave us free stitch markers and these cute little tins. We Crochet provided those. And then Nina Chicago gave us 2 of these, one in black and one in white. Now, I have to tell you the truth, prior to that time, I had none. Now I have 4 because I ordered some right before I went. Okay. So that's Asylum Fibers. And Asylum Fibers is Stephanie. Her stuff is super. I'll probably, well, we'll talk about this one again in a few minutes. So that's Asylum Fibers. And who we got next? Oh, M1. So M1 with them, like I said, this is all the stuff that came in the goodie bag. M1 is Jamie. Oh, I hadn't taken this out the bag yet. This is my first time actually putting my hand on this one. Oh my word, this feels amazing. And it's a special colorway for Stitch Up. You know, somebody there was actually making a shawl where they were putting everything in a shawl. In some kind of something they were making. It was fabulousness. So I'm thinking about doing something like that with everything. It's just that everything is like different weights. Like you saw, the first one was DK. I'm gonna put this back in the bag. So that was a freebie. So we're gonna look at all the free yarn for the most part right now, because this is where we got because I want the designers. This is where the yarn tasting came in. Because before I didn't have a kind of a reference point. And then this is by a company called Movers and Makers, sold through Nina Chicago. This is worsted. It feels so good. 100% superwash merino. Movers and Makers is the name of the company. That purple is really good. Isn't that good? Very deep, saturated, rich. And I think they're exclusive to Nina Chicago. So the only place you can get this fabulousness is there. You can't order online. Hillary. This is Hillary right here. And then we have, this is Kraeo. This is trendy, the color. And I actually saw somebody make something out of this color. It's another DK. Superwash merino. So this actually could go with, you know, throw it in with some in there. Okay. Distortion Fibers. Distortion Fibers is Emily. Oh, this colorway is everything. It's DK again. A lot of nice DK. Truthfully, if we were able to buy at the yarn tasting, I probably would have bought there. Now, mind you, they did give us coupon. Every dyer gave, we have their card where they gave us a discount code for their yarn. So I'm trying to figure out if I really need to buy more like fingering weight, or actually just more of the kind of yarn that's a little bit on the pricey side. Now, this is my favorite. Her tag came off. This was my favorite dyer. I have to tell you the truth. This is Pearly Tricot. In fact, her name is Talia. She sells on Etsy. But look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, she is a small batch dyer. So I did go out there. And what I did with her, because she's a small batch dyer, I actually do have a card with the color that I would like to get from her so that she can batch it. She doesn't like once if you see it, you better get it. And right now there's nothing there that I see, but this right here, yeah, First in Bloom, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So definitely going to be ordering from her. I don't know if I'll order before the coupon expires, but definitely going to be ordering from her again. Okay, and I saved one for last. So RMR is a sister group, super cute sister set. And so what ended up happening was as we were going around the yarn tasting, you know, everybody was kind of doing something different. And so I ended up doing granny squares at each table. And because somebody said we're going to do granny squares and somebody was leaving it behind so you can just add to it. Well, apparently nobody told me that people weren't actually leaving their granny squares. I actually left the granny squares there, which I should have taken them because they were super cute. Because RMR, the sister company, the company ran by two sister dyers, was totally in love with the crochet granny square that I had made for them, to the point they actually gave me a choice of a yarn to make, you know, to use because they all had their yarn set out, but they actually gave me one. Now, I don't know why. The color is beautiful, but that's not what's crazy about it. The crazy part is, let's see if we can get to here where you can see it. She got sparklies in it. Look at here. I'm actually not sure why I got the sparklies. Because, you know, in reality, I'm not a sparkly type of person. So I'm not sure where I got it. But I did start this in the airport because I was going to do another project, but it didn't work out. So I actually started like a little shawlette, but I'm not crazy about this hump in the middle. I'm actually showing you a whip right now. So I'm actually thinking about taking this out and doing something different, because what they gave me in the swag bag, oh, look, I'm making a mess. Look at that. This was in the swag. Oh, she pretty. Oh, she pretty. She pretty. Yes. She is 85% extra fine superwash merino. So another weight difference. But it's the same weight as this, which they match. Look at here. We're going to find a pattern that has these two doing beautiful things together. But this one ain't it. So we'll figure it out. We're gonna frog this and we're gonna start all over again on this one. All right. So after the wine tasting, then it was Shawl for All with Asylum Fibers. Now that's where this came in. So everybody got a pattern, a shawl pattern. There was a knit pattern and a they're actually on the same sheet, which is amazing. A knit version and a crochet version and a knit version. And you can use one ball of this yarn to make it the shawlette. Now, I have to tell you the truth, this is going to be one of the patterns that I actually, I'm going to make the shawlette. The question is, am I going to make it out of this one? This is the one-of-a-kind one that I actually chose. I actually chose this one. Isn't she pretty? Or one of the more tonal ones. The green is fabulous. And this little, I don't even know what you call that. I don't want to take the little thing out in the center because I don't want to stuff it back in there. So, and truthfully, I'm not being a good steward of this yarn because truthfully, it needs to be skewered somewhere. You see it's all coming apart and stuff. But I am going to make the shawlette. And I think it's going to be this one. I really do. I'm actually turning more to shawlettes because I live in a place where it gets kind of warm. So I'm going to try a few more shawlettes. Okay. All right. So in the evening, it was tacos. Tacos and kits with Mary Maxim. Now, I knew of Mary Maxim because, excuse me, I'm a happily hooked member, lifetime member. And every month they give us a $10 coupon as a perk. But I never used the perk. I have gone to their site, kind of looked around. But just so happens I ended up sitting next to the representative from Mary Maxim. Her name is Gwen. Wonderful lady. Mary Maxim is amazing. I'm going to start using my $10 coupon. And one of the reasons why is that they had three of the ladies designed a cow as a friendship cow. I guess that's what you say. And it's a checkmate cow. So truthfully, I done lost the pattern. That's one of the patterns where I'm actually upset about. So I'm actually going to email them to see if I can get that pattern as a digital pattern. But Mary Maxim actually provided all the yarn for this for the situation. And what they actually, and not only did they provide it for the cows, they actually provided it for the yarn bombing. I actually have some of that, but it's just like knit picks. Provided some yarn. It's just like regular worsted and bulky type yarns that was used for the yarn bombing. All right. So this is Mellow Spun DK from Mary Maxim. This color is, what is this color? Dusty Peach. This color is fantastic, right? I'm looking for DK. I need a lot of it because a lot of the stuff I'm making now is DK, and to buy like hand dyed DK yarn for, you know, everything you want to make is just, it ain't happening. I looked this morning on Mary Maxim's site. This Mellow Spun DK is less than $3.50 game. It's machine washable, tumble dry. Side, they say it's a 3 light. I would agree. It's a, yeah, it's a 3 light. I would agree with that. But the stuff feels amazing. So I'm going to be ordering quite a bit of this. And some other, like if you like diamond dots, Mary Maxim is the place to be. So I'll probably throw in a dot. I've never done a diamond dot. My coworker is a diamond dot fanatic. So I'm going to get one and we're going to figure diamond dots out. Along with some of this Mellow Spun DK. I'm getting a lot of that. In fact, I think I'm going to use it. So on the Stitch and Hustle site, there is a free Tunisian t-shirt designed by Natalie from Detroit Knots. And I've been trying to find DK to make that. And I think this is the DK. I'm not sure that these are the colors that I'm going to use. I was kind of looking to see what color that I would like to get for that. But I think it's going to be the Mel Spun DK. I can't beat the price. I can't beat the feel. Did I give y'all the yardage? How many yards is in here? I didn't give yardage. Hold on, let me see if I can find yardage on that one. Because I think even based on that, it's still like a really good deal. How many yards is in this? Take out the glasses. 284 yards. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Yeah. So I'm going to be buying a lot more of this. This is happening. Thank you, Mary Maxim. All right. So that happened Saturday. So that night, after we did that, stayed down for a little while, sat down and actually had a conversation with one of my favorites, Natalie from Detroit Knots. It's embarrassing. She actually saw that I actually have a file with her patterns in there, and Tony Lipsy, she's like, you got almost all of her patterns. Like, yeah, I'm a fanatic. I love a pattern. She called me a consumer. It's like, yes, that's exactly what I am. I don't make, I consume. Okay, so Sunday, get up, do my usual routine, get my coffee, go in the lobby, crochet until we head over to for breakfast at that point in time, the event was technically over. These were like optional things you can do. And I had actually gotten some fruit from Target. There was a Target around the corner. And, you know, just kind of got coffee from McDonald's and kind of chilled. Waiting to go back to Nina's because that's where the yarn bought me installation would go. That was actually super fun. But by this time, truthfully, it was cold. Because it was really cold, and I didn't have a coat, and I only had I took my my cardigan, my granny go round cardigan, and even though it's super cute, it ain't warm, so it was cold out there. But I've seen the pictures, so it was really cute. But then they had classes there, so Natalie actually had two classes. She had a beginner crochet classes, and she had a beyond basic classes. Now, I did not take the beginner class because I felt like, you know, if you look at my library, I got a lot of Tunisian patterns in there. And actually, I'm working on like 3 or 4 right now. One's a test pattern. So I felt like I wasn't a beginner. So this is going to be funny because I learned something about myself here. So once it comes time for me to take my class, I go in there and I'm sitting at the table with a couple of people that I met from the event, and you know, we're all laughing and joking. The class is starting, and then we start. And so one of the first things, so the first couple of times go great. And here's a little hint: if you ever take these classes and they tell you to bring yarn, don't bring dark yarn, bring light yarn so you can see your stitches. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue was I was asked to do a Tunisian purl stitch, which is a basic stitch. It's a beginner stitch. So I did what I thought was a Tunisian purl stitch. But what I realized was that I didn't know what a Tunisian purl stitch was. So one of the beginners actually told me what it was. And she thought it was funny. I thought it was funny too. But I was kind of like, what is going on in my world? Why do I not know a Tunisian purl stitch? Well, this is why I don't. I have a lot of patterns. Very few of them have a Tunisian purl stitch in them. So there's never been an opportunity for me to actually read it because I'm self-taught and I've learned stitches as I go. And even though I have Tony Lipsy's book here, it's a reference. So I have not read it cover to cover to see all the stitches. But once I got back, I went back and I looked and I thought, you know what? I've never done a Tunisian purl stitch before, which tells me that I don't know as much as I think I do. concerning my craft, and that there's a lot more I need to learn. And based on the patterns that I'm picking and the patterns that I purchase are in all different types of levels. But the ones that I do are usually the easy ones. And if one gets too hard, I'll pause, set it to the side, and say, oh, I'll get back to that later when I got more time, and I concentrate on it, and I don't go back to it. So what I'm saying is I'm not pushing myself in my craft. So this is what I did. Having said all that, I went back and said, you know what, I'm just gonna learn the craft. And it just so happens that Tony Lipsy from TL Yarn Craft is starting Crochet Academy. I signed up. I signed up for Crochet Academy because I'm taking it back to the basics, and I'm going to learn everything and learn it the correct way, and, you know, up my skills, right? At this point in time, I think I'm an advanced beginner. By the end, I want to be like more like a true intermediate, I think, is what I want to be. But at the end of the day, we're here talking about Stitch Up. We'll talk more about that next week. I loved it. It was amazing. If you ever have the opportunity to go, I would. I'm going again next year. I don't care where it is. Even if it's in Chicago again, I'll go. Oh, because right around the corner, oh my word, there's this place called Carrie's, because they didn't provide dinner the last day, so I had to get my own dinner. The best hamburger. Oh, it's an Irish pub. And they had the flutist and it was amazing. It was amazing. Good food, good vibes. Even though I did eat in my room. But it was good vibes while I waited for my food. Mm-hmm. And then the next day. So Monday I left. But this is the Monday where I got up, my same routine, coffee, sat in the lobby. But I was able to actually get pictures of people. I was actually realized that entire time I took very few pictures. I was actually in the moment for most of the time that I was there. And ended up with not a lot of pictures, but at the end I ended up with some pictures that I took on the last day. So it was fun. I can't wait for next year. I'm actually looking for my next retreat. So if you are going to a retreat, whether that's sewing, craft, I don't care, put it down below. I might go. I don't know. I love a retreat now. I want to go to all the retreats. So if you know of a retreat, put them down below. If I hear of any, I'll let you know. Because I'm a retreat fanatic now. But Stitch Up's always going to be on the list. I'm always going to that one because that's my first. I want to thank everybody for coming. Like, share. I want to thank all the people who's following me. I know a lot of you are from Stitch Up. Hi. Can't wait to see you again next year. And to everybody else, thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.